What's up, folks? Hold on a second. Got to fix some headset action here. Or not. Hope everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I am awaiting word back whether Joe's going to make it today or not. But in the meantime, we'll get some things ramped up here and try to get some stuff loaded. So I don't know if Joe is attending today or not, but we shall see. We haven't talked today. So anyway, hope everybody's doing well. I am frankly a little bit nervous at the moment about things. Obviously, this is not about the price front, but on the price front, Sean in our community is actively engaged in saying that he is shorting all the way up, and as Shizzy said, if he keeps shorting, he's going to be in pants. So anyway, very interesting that we're all kind of expecting this manipulation to end on the price front, and we'll have supposedly a bit of a dump here. Even Shizzy has gone from Mr. Positive to a bit concerned and negative, and there's a lot going on. So on the news front, there's quite a bit of FUD going on relating to Binance US and Binance. A couple of dudes posted on Reddit that they were having delays in their withdrawals, and so everybody started freaking out, and that was on the ACH side, not the wire side. I have had a delay in withdrawal from Binance US a couple of months ago, and it was because of my bank asking me to attest that the crypto, the money that I was transferring from an exchange was not money laundering or whatever. So, but otherwise, I've had no difficulties there, have done withdrawals recently and have had no problems whatsoever. I frankly think that the US entity is probably fine, but people are out there trying to, make a run on Binance and Binance US happen. I think there's some pent up demand some pent up anger from some folks that's creating that. And who knows? We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what to make of their situation. I frankly am at the state where, there may be criminal indictments that come for CZ and Binance. Right now, it's only civil. And so, I'm not sure whether what the end result of all that's going to be. But frankly, I think it'll come down to CZ and Binance paying some fines and the situation being resolved if a run on those exchanges doesn't result in their collapse. So we'll see what happens. But on the other front, on a little more, kind of bad news front, I did a bit of a rant today on Twitter because I think it's one of the things that if you talk about our current situation and the fact that our greatest vulnerability, something I've talked about a lot, is that we are dependent upon fiat and banks. And I've said this a lot, is that our biggest problem is the on and off ramps to crypto are going through fiat, going through the thing that we're supposedly trying to take down, going through banks and traditional finance. And so I did a bit of a Twitter rant today about the fact that, and this is something that Sean talks about as well, is that, I personally think that we have failed pretty miserably at creating money, or at least creating money that people want to spend. The only way to prevent or get us out of being blocked by the banking system and choke point 2.0 or whatever you want to call it by the government, the only way that we could have solved that issue was to build a system that made people want to transact, that made people want to spend money, that made it so that when a merchant got paid in crypto, if they accepted crypto, that they would in fact be able to spend the crypto that they received rather than converting it to fiat and into their bank account immediately. There's a number of issues there. The infrastructure for merchants to accept payments is not there yet for crypto. There are Bitcoin terminals and Ethereum terminals out in the world, but it's not something mass adopted, which I think is a failure on our part in crypto. And the other part of that is you need a system of suppliers to merchants that can get paid in crypto. And that just all speaks to a massive failure on the educational front, a massive failure on from a startup perspective, people being out there pitching to merchants and getting them to sign up and offer being able to pay in crypto. And I think we've lost a lot of time. I think we've lost a lot of time focused on financial systems, DeFi systems, and speculative trading, hodling trading, investing, whatever you want to call it, when we should have been putting some energy and time into the spending of crypto, because currently we're an abysmal failure as money. And people will make the argument, it doesn't matter what the government does, it doesn't matter what the banks do, those, Bitcoin will keep moving on and Ethereum will keep functioning and blah, blah, blah. Well, it doesn't fucking matter if they keep going on if we don't have money, if they're not treated as money, if we don't have, people using it as money. It doesn't matter if they keep functioning, because if nobody can get their money in and out, it doesn't matter. And I realize this is a very US centric thing, but frankly, folks, what the US does with money and regulatory is going to also impact everything that everybody does around the world, because we set the agenda. Niblet says there are more incentives to hold than spend crypto. It's like deflation in fiat, where you don't spend your dollar if it'll be worth more tomorrow. He says, so the incentives for using crypto as a medium of exchange just aren't there. But we can do this with stables, right? That's what I think is missing. Yes, absolutely. If you get paid in Bitcoin, you get paid in ETH, whatever, you either want to trade the fuck out of it right away to fiat and put it in your bank account if you're a standard non-crypto native, or you want to flip it into fiat, but you don't want to, or if you want to hold it because you're speculating on it and you want to keep it, you're not going to spend it on something else. I get that. Totally, completely get that concept. But the fact is we've never made the rails, the infrastructure, the system to make it easy for stablecoin payments to be made, which would be a great first step, right? If we can set up a system that allows merchants and suppliers and average humans to have some stable coin in their wallet and pay for goods, and not have people flip out of it, then we could have a system of payments and making it money. But if we're going to fail at being money, if we're going to fail at replacing fiat and the system, then really, what's the point? I mean, I guess we can all make money speculating and trading and investing and DeFiing, but there was supposed to be a bit of a mission here. So anyway, I don't have a 100% solution to this problem, but I think it's a problem that needs to be worked on if crypto is going to survive. So Chuck says this is 100% the same as the point the web was at in 1996, when there's no way to take payments online. First virtual, et cetera, were all janky, just like current crypto payment schemes. Yeah, totally agree with you in that regard, but the regulatory overstep wasn't as significant yet. Although, I think you brought up to me in a call the other day, Chuck, that there were schemes for taxing email and a couple of other things. So certainly there was some regulatory stuff happening, but our biggest problem is to my mind, the dependency though. Ronora said, is there even a need there? Current payment systems work fine. Totally get that argument. And I think that that is a part of what I said in the tweet thread. Is there's a couple of things there. First, it's an educational thing. right? Are you aware of how the system works? Are you aware about how banking and finance works and the problems inherent in that? The transfer mechanisms used to be an advantage for crypto, but now with things like Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and whatever the hell the bank system is called, you can get instant transfers, and you can get transfers feeless for the most part. So it does put us at a disadvantage. We had an advantage previously. So then it becomes, are we going to convince people with education? Are we going to convince people on the advantages to being your own bank and holding your own money? And are we going to solve the problems with security, with ease of use and all of that at the same time? I don't know. I tweeted the other day about the fact that ultimately it looks like, there's not going to be a lot of need for banks if all deposits are completely insured. The whole FedNow system will probably replace the banks at some point. But, I don't have all the answers for this, but I definitely think that we lost a lot of opportunity to establish a payment mechanism that could have been done. The other side of that is there a way for us to incentivize utilizing crypto, because you can use some of the engines in DeFi that we've used to earn more money? Those are opportunities that the average person can't take advantage of. But if you can build in earning more from the crypto you have in your wallet, by providing liquidity or lending or whatever, maybe there's a model there where there's an incentive for people to be using crypto. Niblet says, Chuck shot, and even with smooth transactions, when the incentives are all aligned to hold for a greater fool, then the token fails to function as a medium of exchange. Chuck says, current payments don't work fine. If I'm trying to pay an overseas provider partner, the very simplest way to pay is via crypto transfer. Maybe this is a starting point. I definitely agree that international transfers are still a mess. Wire transfers cost a fortune. You have to pay extra if you want to have it hit the same day. The only thing that's gotten better is domestic transfers utilizing apps. And I don't frankly know kind of the reach of Venmo, PayPal, et cetera, Cash App out there in the world outside of the US, but definitely agree with you that is definitely a good initial target for this and seeding it. The biggest thing I think is building the infrastructure and incentivizing people to actually use them. So I don't know. Renora says, I think there will be a need for transparent, trustless payment / exchange system when the warlord era of America begins. Yeah. Look, it's not what we want, but an entire collapse of the banking system makes crypto look really good, right? And so the question is, can you get across the danger and the risk of that to people so that they say, man, maybe I want to hold my own money and earn on my money and spend my money digitally via crypto? I don't know. Chuck says, Niblets, that is true of speculative coins, not true of stable. Speculative coins aren't really currency, are they? And that's what I was saying earlier. I agree with you there, Chuck. Niblets says, I use Wise all the time for near instant international bank and bank transfers for low fees than gas. Wise functions like a private Swift network. The fees I'm paying on Wise are stupid. So I'm not sure, dude, what you're doing, but I need to get on a call with you to find out why I'm paying significantly greater fees than the cost of gas, because I'm paying significantly greater fees than the cost of gas for Wise transfers. So I must be missing something there, dude. So you and me need to talk. Shizzy says, the CBDC will bring lots of opportunities for crypto to create the on and on for apps. When I get offered my job to get paid in CBDC, I could bridge over to real crypto easily. Yeah, if they allow us to do that, if there's an exchange mechanism, that's certainly not an angle I had thought of on CDBCs. And the privacy infringements of CDBCs may be an opportunity to get mind share in the real world, if that happens. But I don't know. Let me see. I got to find my tabs that I had open yesterday that we didn't get to in the news. But got a few things going on here. Let me just try to find what I had, and we'll load up some other things that are going on in the world. Sorry, folks. Okay. That is not what I want. Well, we're just going to fumble about here. Niblis says you can charge up your Wise account with ACH or bill payment for about 95 cents and then P2P transfer almost any fiat instantly for $0. He says, I don't work for Wise. Okay, so I am definitely missing the user interface there. So you're saying you can deposit funds into Wise as opposed to doing an ACH or wire from your bank account. That must be why I didn't know you could actually deposit into Wise like a bank. So that would explain the transfer fees, because now they're making money on the carry on that. That's very interesting, dude. Thank you for letting me know that. All right, let me get to open some of these tabs that I had open in the news yesterday and today. If I can get this to pin. I think we talked about the fact that we talked about the Choke Point 2.0 document yesterday from the law firm that sued the FDIC last time for the Choke Point 1.0. Hopefully that law firm is going to take on. I'm just going to stop here, guys, so I can get these loaded up, because this is just stupid. Just stupid to be stumbling around. All right, we talked about Sam. We talked about CZ's response to the CFTC case. They basically said, look, we're fine. We haven't done anything wrong. We're the most compliant in the world, blah, blah, blah. There was an article yesterday about the fact that 90% of Ethereum is now in self-custody as supply on exchanges hits lowest levels since 2015. Interesting that it is, that people are actually moving into wallets. They're not cashing out. And 90% of Ethereum is in self-custody. I assume that also includes staking, but I don't know. But it's just interesting to me with everything that's happening, that people are moving into that. I guess people are nervous about what's going on in the market. Niblet said you can receive payment from international clients directly into your Wise account. It's a reasonable bank replacement. All right. Well, I'm now going to have to check that out. Ornora said there's a rumor floating around in fund circles that Binance will close its doors soon. Well, that would be pretty epic move on CZ's part on CZ's part to actually close doors. I find that really hard to believe, but I guess it's always a possibility that he just says, fuck it, I'm tired of dealing with this shit. Everybody that works here is rich. Let's just shut her down and move on with life. That may be a negotiation tactic. I don't know. He said like this week or next week, stay safe. Niblet says steady lads, CZ. For those of you not aware, that's a reference to Do Kwon saying steady lads as that project fell to the abyss. Shizzy said, when BitMEX and Arthur Hayes got its lawsuits from the CFTC, a warrant followed 9 weeks later. Could we see the same for CZ? I definitely think we could see it. I think obviously CZ's in a better position as a non-American to negotiate and fight that. But I definitely think that there could be arrest warrants coming for those folks. We'll just have to see what happens next. I have no frigging clue. All right. So Ethereum now in self-custody, mostly 90% of it's in self-custody and off of exchanges. I would assume that has a lot to do with the fact that people are nervous now about exchanges, but who knows? Interesting. The guys we interviewed from Silling Mining, Sean's friend, or business partner, or whatever, they are in the latest documentary on Cointelegraph.com. I'll put the link to the YouTube feed in the show notes, but pretty interesting that they're getting that attention now. I'm excited to see that for them. And I was trying to get what Bitcoin did to get them on, but haven't heard back from them, but definitely would love to see them on that as well. Galaxy Digital. Oh, I guess I should load up these tabs, huh? That I'm like talking about and not showing. Window, Microsoft Edge tab. Here we go. So Galaxy Digital reported a $1 billion net loss. And then for the quarter are going to move into $150 million in pre-tax income. So that's pretty crazy that they could go from a $1 billion net loss to profit that quickly. So it's pretty interesting to see. I have no idea how they're doing that. I know they have their money in mining and investing and trading and startups and venture capital. I have no idea what makes someone recover that rapidly in the middle of a bear market from a $1 billion loss in 2022, but more power to them. Renero says, I think this is more of a your money laundering operation is competition for my money laundering operation kind of thing. Absolutely, dude. I totally think that is the threat being addressed. And it says the U.S. wants to dominate the rails. Look, at the end of the day, the U.S. is going to try to dominate every aspect of it. And so it's definitely something that we have to be concerned about across the board. And I'm confident we haven't seen the last of their intent to come after us. And Niblet said, with all the risky news, why is the whole space up 4% today? I think Sean would tell you that the whole space is up 4% today because people are manipulating the Bitcoin market price and taking everybody's candy. But who knows? But that would be my assumption. Fidelity, who is getting a lot of bank deposits from folks in the crypto space who are moving out of the banks, is now hiring a crypto and token research team. I would assume that means they're going to start offering other assets if they're going to be doing that kind of research. I have no insight into that completely, but it certainly seems like Fidelity, of all things, Fidelity has benefited pretty dramatically from the bank shutdowns as well as the exchange issues that are happening. And Chuck said, yeah, candy takers are the issue most definitely. So I think Sean's probably right that these are manipulations to get the last little bits and pieces out. And then, the dump comes. One of the things Sean talks about a lot is the fact that, or has been talking about a lot over the last 2 weeks, is the fact that, money's leaving the system. Large investors are pulling out of the exchanges. There's not going to be enough liquidity or anything else to support it. And so who knows? That's just what I'm hearing. Oh, this was crazy. I didn't realize this, but Avalanche was down last week for an hour and had not yet recovered at the time of this. So this was March 22nd. It was down for an hour. And then yesterday it was down for another 50 minutes. And there was a tweet here. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah. Somebody tweeted, Shane Yodas tweeted, Avalanche is now a layer 2 on Solana, which, we all know Solana's history of having outages. But I had not ever heard of Avalanche going down before, and I don't know if this is the first time that they've had this problem, but kind of crazy that they've had 2 outages inside of a week. My suspicion would be is that the secondary outage was related to whatever fix was implemented from the first outage. That is typically the case with bug fixes and problems, but who knows for sure. But it definitely is kind of crazy. I didn't know that Avalanche had experienced problems like that. On another note, the Euler Finance exploiter seems to be really nervous about going to prison. They have, they have continued to return more and more of the money. They're now up to $138 million returned. My suspicion is they'll get to the 10% stage, and keep 10%, and which is 20 million. 119.5 million is a nice payday, right? So my suspicion is that's where we'll end up with him returning 80 80% of the money that he took and keeping the rest. I don't know that that's going to stop him from getting arrested, though. So that's something we'll have to see, and he'll have to deal with. But yeah, who absolutely knows? And apologies, I don't know where Joe is today, but I'm going to. That's all the news I had loaded up, and so I'm probably going to keep it a short day today, gentlemen, and move on unless somebody else has something they want to talk about or can jump on the show and talk about. I will tell you that one of the members of our community just narrowly escaped getting scammed. And so they're writing up a document about that, which is going to be really interesting. We've been talking back and forth about it. I'm not going to disclose anything about who it is now, but they narrowly escaped being taken advantage of. So, and it's a really interesting story and a really kind of crazy how far the scammers went with this scam, and what links they go to try to get to people who are potentially vulnerable mentally. Shizzy asked, did Joe get arrested? You guys want to help break him out? I don't know where the hell he is, but hopefully not arrested. That would suck. Nibble says bond markets seem to be expecting rate cuts going forward. I have zero expertise on what to expect out of the Fed, and I just kind of go with the flow on it. But I'd be surprised. But look, money. The idea, if they started cutting rates, then historically that's been a boost. Shizzy, free Joe. # free Joe. I don't think Joe has done anything that would cause him to be arrested. So he is very much by the book kind of guy. So I doubt very seriously there's any kind of issue there. But anyway, who knows? That is it for today. I'm going to load up. We got Sean tomorrow for Sean Day. And I had an amazing interview last night. Was it last night? For 2.5 hours, maybe it was the night before last, with Josh Rosenthal. And Josh is the guy who's appeared on Bankless a couple of times talking about crypto representing a renaissance and a revolution based on his background and history. He's also an accomplished venture capitalist. That episode's coming soon. Was hoping to have the Akash episode out with Greg Osuri today, but I was waiting on his response to a question I asked him before I put it out. So I'm going to put it out tomorrow if I don't hear from him. But that one's coming out. And then so Friday's episode is going to be our interview with Redstone Finance, which is an amazing Oracle system, far superior in performance and cost than Chainlink. Able to rapidly deploy price feeds, able to rapidly deploy on multiple chains, makes it easier for developers to easily utilize multiple chains with their oracles. No longer will developers have to wait 15-30 minutes to get a price update like you have to do with Chainlink. It's a really powerful option. So anyway, I spoke to the two founders this morning. Their episode is going to be our Friday show rather than Joe and me chit chatting, and or unless we have to raise money for bail. I don't think so. But Akash is a really powerful platform. These guys, Greg is an OG in the Kubernetes and Docker space, has a ton of experience and expertise, and getting an understanding of how Akash works was really important to me. But I can see a lot of opportunities there. There's opportunities, obviously, in the value of the token that's being used in that network. But there's also significant opportunities for people to deploy interfaces to the Akash network for CPU and GPU hosting. And it's really powerful. And as I was talking to them, I was thinking a lot about the potential of combinations with something like a storage network like Arweave with CPU and GPU capabilities. You could essentially build your own competitor to Amazon and to the other big providers, all of it being, now the processing isn't on chain, CPU and GPU is not on chain, but all of the transactions happen on chain. And then you have a storage device like Arweave. You could essentially, utilizing Akasha's APIs and Arweave's APIs, build your own hosting mechanism, hosting system for CPU, GPU, and storage, all on chain in terms of the transactions and the actual storage. And it's just I think it's a big opportunity. And I think with AI, Akash launching GPU capabilities is going to be huge, just gigantic, because the demand from this point is going to be just unbelievable. I don't think that's going to slow down anytime in the near future. There's a shit ton of money piling into AI projects. So I think it's gonna be big. Nibblets asks, what happens with Trust Wallet given Binance's problems? Trust Wallet was an acquired company from Binance. My assumption would be, I don't know how they treat it organizationally. I don't know if they treat it as a separate company or not, as a subsidiary, or if it's just part of Binance. My assumption is it's a subsidiary, but I have no idea what the legal structure is there. But my thinking is that if things got bad, that's something you peel out as a separate entity if they had nothing to do with whatever they're being accused of doing. It sucks for companies that are within the Binance family that are building shit, having to deal with this as well, I'm sure. And hopefully they all come out on top and are in good shape after all of that. So listen, I hope everybody has a great day. Sorry for the brief show today, 10 minutes short, whatever. But I appreciate all of you. The other episode that's coming out next week is with the editor-in-chief of DL News, which is DeFi Llama's news publication, which is doing some really cool shit and is hiring real journalists, has real journalistic standards and ethics. I think they're going to be in the long term far superior to the news outlets that we have available to us today. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, really interesting interview with them and their approach to journalism and crypto. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with it. We never did talk about the whole DeFi Llama kerfuffle last week, but looks like everything's straightened itself out. And hopefully DeFi Llama will continue to grow and build in the space. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you, Shizzy. Thank you, Niblets. Thank you, Chuck, Ronora. I think that was everybody for today. Appreciate you guys chiming in and being a part of the stream. Thank you so much. If you like what we're doing, please take 2 minutes, rate and review us in your podcast feed. Also subscribe, click the little bell in YouTube. Make sure you smash the thumbs up so that we get boosted in the algorithm. If you have not yet, you're missing out on great conversations in the community. Go to t.me/mission DeFi, t.me/mission DeFi. Shizzy, Niblets, Chuck, Sean, everybody is there chatting, discussing, prognosticating, debating. It's a great place to hang out. And as Niblet says, it's a no crypto bro zone. So please join us if you have not yet. t.me/mission DeFi. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Looking forward to Sean Day tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye. Well, if it'll let me in the broadcast. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep sitting here, folks, because it won't let me click the button. That's a little messed up. Awkward. All right, I'm going to leave the studio and then end it. It says it's not letting me. So I'll see you guys in a bit. You can look at the blank screen for a few minutes.